and I'll go to the next one.
Okay,
We'll
let's swing it. Hey guys, this is Team Financial Fitness, and we're right down on our property down from the house, and there's a big ravine here, and it's got these wild ferns all over the place. They're scattered all through the woods, and I made us a little walking trail through here, and that's what we like to do in the evening. And we were going to tell you a story off of Zero Hedge that is really, it really reflects on what's going on right now. I'm going to let Stacy read a little bit of it. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, it was just interesting. The U.S. inflation rate as measured by the Consumer Price Index, which they state is?
6.2%.
So what do we think it really is?
It's probably about 3 to 4 times that, because beef prices are up 57%, egg prices are up 40%, oil and fats are up 50%, and our menu items are up about 5%. It depends on what you order, because when I go to order food, it's usually way more than that, because I get, you know, when you order food, you don't get very much chicken, meat, eggs on that. It's usually filler. So I don't know how they come up, well, I do know how they come up with the 6.2, the CPI lie, which we're going to get into that in a minute. Keep telling them.
Yeah, they do. They lied. They changed what they put in the CPI. But anyway, says it's reached its highest level in 40 years during October 2021. Consumers face widespread shortages of items whose availability Americans are used to taking for granted, from autos to smartphones. The cost of housing is rising at the fastest rate on record. Wages are rising, but unable to keep up with the cost of living, and service businesses cannot find workers. What is happening to the U.S. economy, and what has caused it?
Well, it looks like when you stimulate something, you know, the economy died in 2008, and it's been on life support. Has not been noticeable, but now two-fifths of the money spent is stimulus. It's like a zombie economy. And Japan's been experiencing this for a long time. It's called stagflation. It's really starting to set in now. I think rigor mortis is about to set in, but keep going.
Well, it said the reality is the United States is midway through a massive social experiment that has no historical precedent. Since the start of the you-know-what pandemic, the federal government has injected a $5.8 trillion spending power into the U.S. economy. That is about 2/5, that's what you were talking about, of the consumption of the GDP. That is huge.
Yeah, gross domestic product. That's how we gauge a country on how it's done. It should be unemployment. That's really what I like to watch, because you just can't give people money. It doesn't work. It's just like a drug. It's like a heroin addict. It needs more, it needs more, it needs more. And a lot of times when you take them off the drug, if they're too far gone, they die, you know? And that's what we're looking at with this broken Japan-like economy. It seems to be getting worse. Back to the CPI, the 6.2% inflation is when I say it's a lie, it's so much more than that. It's just, they're pulling the wool over our eyes. It is a cherry-picked basket of goods that, you know, you're not going to see gasoline on there, which is up 100%. It's up 250% in Europe. And why is Europe a big deal? Well, since we've tried to shut things down here and crush the economy from our commies that are in charge, we're getting our stuff from OPEC. We're begging and tugging on their shirt tail trying to get oil from them and not doing it here. That's the same thing Europe's going to do. So it's just all coming unraveled. And when you see this 6.2%, it's just immediately, you think it's not that bad, you know? It's like, oh, it's not that bad. You know?
Well, that's what Germany used to say. They're like, oh, it's not that bad, but they didn't really see what the big picture was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the moral of this story is we are experiencing stagflation, and there's going to be goods. I got a feeling that goods are going to start piling up in the aisles of stores, because we had this glut of goods floating around in the ocean, because we get 90% of our stuff from overseas. And when that hits the markets, it's going to be a big glut, and everybody's going to be looking at me going, Chris, you said we have shortages. Well, it's a gift. Buy more, buy extra, because after that, you know, it's like this. Nothing's straight up. You saw the Sam's video, everything was gone. Well, then they'll get a truckload because, you know, they're backed up. I'm sure I haven't been back. But it's,
Well, it's just it's like if a good economy. You explained it to me perfect today. You said if it was a good economy, it would go like this. But when it's a bad economy, like the oil and gas, it goes like this, and it goes like this, and it made perfect sense when you said that.
yeah,
I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
yeah. The worst thing you want to see is oil go parabolic. It screws everything up because it comes down the same way, and it's just not good for the economy. And another example is on the goods and services is when I ordered a box of special welding rods that I don't use that often. Well, they didn't have them, of course. Welding shops don't carry welding rods, believe that or not. So they had to special order them, which meant they got thrown on the truck, then broke all the flux off of them. It looked like the box had been drugged here behind the UPS truck. Well, I got the box rods. It was completely demolished, and they were the wrong size. Okay, supply chain issue, sure. So I called them out and they said, okay, well, we'll get you the right box, but it's too late. I've got to go to work. I need those rods. So I went somewhere else and bought those rods. Now I've got an extra box of welding rods that are sitting there in the way, just like these goods are coming. It's going to be like Christmas decorations. There is going to be so many Christmas decorations laying around. Just hold up on buying any Christmas, because next year I have a feeling that stuff's going to be cheap.
Yeah, no, the same thing actually happened with me with oatmeal. So I went to a Brookshire's, and they had no oatmeal, and I said, can you order me some? Well, I needed some, so I went to the other store, stocked up, went back. Well, they had like 10 bags ready for me. Well, they're sitting there now. Kind of the same thing that's happening here. But anyway, it says American households and businesses face a degree of uncertainty of anything like they've seen since the oil shock of the 1970s. Housing prices have risen 20% in the past year, and rents have risen 7%. This is per Zillow, and 15% per another website, according to private surveys.
Yeah,
Things are going up.
Two things: oil, diesel fuel. That is the lifeblood of the economy. When that stuff goes up, everything goes up.
Yep.
You can bank on that. When you see really high fuel prices, you can automatically know your goods and services are going to go up, because that makes everything go up. And talking about the rents, we're not raising our rent on our rental properties.
We're trying not to, yeah.
We're going to try to, we're locked in for now, and we're going to try to help people get through this this lull, and hopefully sell a few, and just try to brace for impact and help your neighbor. Get some extra food, and it's going to be up to us to build the community.
Yeah.
And it's just the way I see it. That's what I'm doing with this channel. And if I get y'all to hit that subscribe button and like the video and share it, it helps a lot. But that's it. The CPI is a lie. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.